Yet another Christmas cards video for 2025, this time with etching inks and a wonderful old tile that made me gasp because of the beauty it printed. Hello Gelli fans! I had to make a third Christmas video this season, this time with my beloved etching inks. If you missed the first two videos with acrylics, I will link them here and in the info box below. I dug up this old tile. As you might know, I can't throw anything away that might potentially print. The tile has this wonderful relief and I believe it will print nicely. I have the foam rubber tree stamp that I made for the first two videos, and I was not sure if the tile and the tree would be anything combined in a print. And man, was I surprised! The etching inks are really my favorite paints, and as usual I recommend these, the Akua brand, as they are non-toxic and easily wipeable because of their soy base. I will only use and mix the Phtalo Blue and the Cadmium Red. You know I like to keep it simple. I'm wearing a rubber glove for the printing process because I will take it off afterwards as not to smear the back of the paper that I'm printing on. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I'm taking my time to roll the paints out separately from each other. And I'm taking my time because the etching inks really take a longer time to brayer out evenly. And I really should have made a thinner layer here. I'm taking the tile and pressing it on the gel plate. And I can already feel that the tile doesn't stick to the gel plate as much as with the acrylic inks. And I can see the paint layer was just too thick. I'm not even printing this. Taking some paint off. And now the paint mix, the colors mix a little more, but I don't mind. So I'm pressing it on again. And because of that one corner that's missing there, I'm taking a tissue and taking the paint off. And I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, so it slid a bit on the paint, but I think it's a good layer now. And then I'm pressing on the rubber tree, the rubber foam rubber tree. Foam rubber Christmas tree. Taking the stamp off carefully. And I'm taking off the rubber glove so that I can rub in the paper from the back. As it's supposed to be a card, it has to be clean on the other side. And look at that. I'm really surprised how well this went. And it inspires me immediately to work shadows out. But first I want to make another print. I'm taking the glass off the back of the gel plate so I can press from the gel side better later. And I left paint on the brayer, too much already. And so the blue and red mix a little bit, but not very much. This is mainly red. But there's still paint left on the tile, so that will show too. So this time I'm pressing on the gel plate. It's still sliding because the surface of the tile is so smooth, I guess. But it looks good. So I can press on that tree again. Being very careful not to touch the sides and leave my fingerprints, which happens to me often. And I'm taking that print. And of course I forgot the rubber glove when I was printing, so I'm just using a tissue to rub the paper in. And this is the outcome, and you can see that it's sliding, but that's actually very interesting because it gives a lot of different shapes. And for the next print, I left the paint also on the brayer and on the tile and on the gel plate a little bit. So this mixes, well, this mixes into a blue. But I think the red from the tile will still show a little bit. Pressing that on, and I'm not taking the corner off there. I'm pressing the tree in and taking that. And that's the print. Isn't that amazing? What this tile is giving me is so interesting, and it doesn't matter that I didn't take off the paint in the corner because it doesn't really show. So now I'm working out the first of the prints with my Polychromos pencils. As usual, all the materials are listed in the info box below. And if you can't find anything, ask me anything in the comments anytime. So first I want to make the tree stand out a bit from the background. And I'm working with shadows that are larger, of course, underneath, because the light is coming from upwards. Probably from the upper left. But I'm giving an outline to the tree altogether. And can you see all those little dots and little thingies? This is so special for the etching ink. This is the main reason why I love to print with it more than with acrylics. And before you ask, no, it doesn't stain the gel plate too much if you clean it afterwards. And it's easy to clean, just some soap water or a baby wipe. Now I'm working up on the star up there, which is important, and giving the star some shadows there. Bigger ones to the right and to the lower left. And there's even some dots and spots and stripes inside the star. That is so interesting. And you always get a different outcome, actually. And here I'm working on that corner, filling in the pattern of the tile, but I'm keeping it quite light and quite graphic. I just don't want to pretend this is the original print, and it's extra interesting, I think, if you leave it in a graphic style like this. So I'm working on the tile texture, and because of that shaky print, because of the sliding of the tile on the gel plate, it gives me some extra shadows and extra movements, so to speak, inside those patterns. It's so amazing. I think I'll have to try more tiles, if it's possible to still get them in relief style. But I think it is. This is a very old tile. It must be from, I don't know, the 40s or something. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's from the 60s, whatever, when they still had relief on the tiles. And all those little dots, I have to give them all a shadow. And it's not the outcome so much, actually. It's just the fun of doing this. And it's so simple. Just give it a shadow and it's amazing. And inside the tree, that foam stuff has given me some resist. And I think you can call it a decalcomania. And it's possible with acrylics too, but it's just not the same. It's so much more with the etching inks. I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. I am excited all the time I'm doing this, but maybe you're really bored watching this for hours. Anyway, it's time to put some Christmas ornament in the tree. And thank you, Alison, for letting me know this is called ornaments and not baubles in the US. This is an egg shape. So I'm repeating this one. And what I'm doing is partly putting these behind the dots and spots for more interest. And I'm letting them be bigger in the lower part. And I want to fill them in with either the red gold on the left side, which would go with the red, or the metallic blue on the right side. And I'm deciding for the blue. First I'm checking how do they look out of the tube. So I go with the blue. But I'm watering it down quite a bit. Sorry you can't see that. And so it becomes quite a light metallic blue. I'm leaving out little reflections of light. Then I want to draw an outline for this card. And I'm only doing an outline on the right and the lower side. And working in the irregularity, you know what I mean? I'm working with that. So the line is a bit crooked, which is interesting. And here, this is sort of a mix between the blue and the Amsterdam Pearl Blue. And then I'm strengthening the highlights on the ornaments and also inside the star. This is my favorite white liner, the Gelli roll from Japan. And I've decided to give the baubles, the ornaments, a little bit of a shadow. And it immediately looks real 3D, doesn't it? It doesn't really draw that well on that metallic color, I have to say. Not as good as on the etching ink or the acrylic. Then I'm cutting it out with a rather slim rim. And as a jelly plate, what we love about the jelly plate is the organic look of it, of the prints. And so I'm rounding the edges here to go with that. Yeah, this is it. I took this photo before I cut it out. And so beautiful. What do you think? Now I'm working out the second bluish one that has more blue than red. And it's basically the same, so I'm speeding this up quite a bit. But it's also a lot of different. Again, I'm repeating myself. Just love this process. Look at these delicate little shapes. My God. Little islands, little snowflakes or pearls. Just so elegant. Giving the tree some shadows, and the wobbling around gave me these little highlights there, these little scratches that are yet another interesting detail here. Sometimes it's hard to decide where to put the shadows. I just go on. Sometimes it's like being in a trance, and I don't really think about what I'm doing, except for that the shadows have to be larger on the underside. And look at this line. That was, if you remember from the other video, a little bit of the liners drawing line that I had left, and it was on the rubber stamp, and it annoyed me a little bit. But here, now that I make it a part of the design, I think it's rather interesting. I'm sorry for always repeating the word interesting. I have to find another expression. I promise I will use it less. But isn't this so interesting? I'm using a white pencil this time to pick out some highlights. And I'm not using the fine liner this time. I don't want it to be that white. So the baubles, the ornaments, this time they become water drops. And you can see me here, it's so easy to make water drops. Just make a highlight on that corner where the light comes from, and on the opposite you make a round curve. Just like a one-eyed smiley. And I had this idea while I was doing this. I didn't plan this. But I think it's not interesting. It's a good idea. And this is the outcome. Maybe from my unconscious, they are tears. The tree with tears. Now for the red one. I'm speeding this up even more. You've seen it all before. But somehow I can't resist showing you a little bit of that process. I'm using a mauve color, which is a dark purple, for the outlines and the shadows. Of course, you can use other paints to work these out. You can get more colorful, especially with the ornaments, and more colors maybe to separate the tree from the tile patterns. But this is just my style. That star is really glowing, isn't it? And I wobbled with a foam stamp as well, obviously, so I get another star behind it. A repetition. Going for the rim. And with this one, I'm doing something different. I'm not giving it ornaments, but I'm painting the tree itself. This is also the Amsterdam Pearl colors that are shiny when you move the card. And I think the green goes well with the purple. So I have a little bit of more pronunciation on the tree this time. I'm using my trusty Gold Metallic Medium by Liquitex. It's a little bit like the pearl colors. You can also mix it with another color, but I like to draw it as a quite a transparent, shiny layer. I'm using it for the stars, and I'm deciding not to give it any ornaments, but paint those little dots and scratches with the gold. This is the third card, which is my least favorite. I should have drawn a rim around the tree after I've painted it. I can still do that. Anyway, these are all so beautiful. I don't think I even want to give them to anybody. I want to keep them. I have to remind myself that Christmas is about giving too. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas with your loved ones. Bye.